Hello, boys and girls. Mr. Paust here. So nice to see you. Hope you're having a great day so far. We have another close read, which I'm very excited about. It's a little more difficult than the previous ones, but we have smart students in this class, and I know that we'll be ready for it. Okay? And the title of the story today is called From Freaky Foods. Okay. And they separated by paragraphs for us. Around the world, including America, people enjoy what others might call weird foods. Snakes, bats, bugs, camel's hump. Think about the next time your mom fixes you spinach, broccoli, or liver. Wouldn't you rather have roasted termites instead? What? Okay. Fish for breakfast. In Japan, many kids eat fish first thing in the morning. Makes sense in a country surrounded by water. Later in the day, they might have jellyfish. The sting from these jellyfish can kill, so the poison must be removed first. That takes 4 to 8 days of soaking in cold water. After that, all that's left is a crunchy treat, like chicken nuggets, usually eaten with a dipping sauce. Wow. Other fishy meals around the world include fermented shark or harkel, eaten in Iceland. To make harkel, just bury a shark in sand for 3 years, then dig it up and dig in. All right, the heading, you're bugging me. Ounce for ounce, insects are a great source of energy. When food supplies ran low, American pioneers ate Mormon crickets and other bugs on the journey west. In more than half the world today, including Africa, Australia, Europe, Asia, and America, insects are on the menu. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about this. Number one, very cool to see how the different, bugs and animals around the world. But also to note that this is a short story. It was only 4 paragraphs. So when you're seeing this on like a test, I want you to take your time, maybe read it a couple times to really understand it. And as I said before, you want to think about like when you go home to be able to tell your parents in detail about the story. All right, we got some questions that are really difficult, but I think you guys are for the challenge. All right, read these 2 sentences from paragraph 2. So we actually don't even have to go back into paragraph 2 because they're providing the sentences. All right, in Japan, many kids eat fish first thing in the morning. Later in the day, they might have jellyfish. Now, these are the only 2 sentences this question's about. So even before we read the answer choices, I want to read that again. In Japan, many kids eat fish first thing in the morning. Later in the day, they might have jellyfish. All right. You guys got it? All right, one more time then. In Japan, many kids eat fish first thing in the morning. Later in the day, they might have jellyfish. All right, so I'm going to read you all the answer choices, and I want you guys to tell me which answer you think it is. Which of the following describes the relationship between these 2 sentences? A. The sentences describe steps in a process. B. The second sentence gives the clause of the first. C. The first sentence explains the reason for the second. D. The sentences describe the order of 2 events. Now, what do you guys think it is? A, B, C, or D? Okay. If you said D, you're correct. The sentences describe the order of 2 events. It says, in Japan, many kids eat fish first thing in the morning. So you're using the word first. You see that? That's a sequencing word right there. First. And it says, later in the day, they might have jellyfish. And they're using the word later. So it's a sequence of events. Okay? So number 1 was D. If you got it, a little pat in the shoulder. That was a tricky one. Now, number 2 already it tells a short answer response. So we're going to have to go back into the text for this one. But let's find out what they're asking us. What are the steps taken to prepare a harkel? Write the steps in order. Again, they're asking us for an order, like sequencing. So it says, what are the steps taken to prepare harkel? So when we go back into the text, boys and girls, I want you to look for the word harkel because this is what it's about. It's not about jellyfish. It's about harkel. Now remember, this is a short passage here. So let's see if we can find it. Do you see it? What paragraph is it? Yes, paragraph 3. So I'm going to reread paragraph 3. Other fishy meals around the world include fermented shark, or harkel, eaten in Iceland. To make harkel, just bury a shark in sand for 3 years, then dig it up and dig in. So what was the question asking us? What are the steps in preparing harkel? Now, when someone's asking for steps, I love those sequencing words. So I would use first, next, then, afterwards, lastly. I would use those words. So I would say the first step in preparing harkel is to find a shark. And then I would say next, using the text here, just bury a shark in the sand for 3 years. Then dig it up. And then I would say, and lastly, dig in. So you want to use your sequencing words, boys and girls. And you also want to use the information in the text. All right, awesome. All right, last one, number 3. All of these have been so hard, but I think we're ready. Read the sentence from the last paragraph. Okay, so again, they're providing this sentence to us. So we don't have to go back to the last paragraph. We can just look at this sentence, but really pay attention to it. When food supplies ran low, American pioneers ate Mormon crickets and other bugs on their journey west. So I want to read that again. When food supplies ran low, American pioneers ate Mormon crickets and other bugs on their journey west. So a couple of things here. When thinking about American pioneers, it sounds like it's the first Americans that came to this country. And then it's saying that the food supplies ran low, so they were really hungry. So these American pioneers are eating these Mormon crickets and bugs on their journey west. Okay? So I really want to understand this statement they're making here. And this is going to help us with our question. All right. A, the sentence shows steps in a process. B, the sentence compares 2 events. C, the first part of the sentence explains the reason for the second part of the sentence. D, the second part of the sentence gives the clause of the first part. All right, what do you guys think it is? A, B, C, or D? Okay, if you said choice C, you're correct. The first part of the sentence explains the reason for a second part. If you look at the sentences, when food supplies ran low, so it's explaining that there's not much food. American pioneers ate Mormon crickets and other bugs on their journey west. So the first part is explaining the reason for the second part. All right. Hope you enjoyed Freaky Foods. All right. And also our close read and understanding how to break down a text. First reading it for the first time, understanding it, and then going back in to find those answers and supporting your answers. All right, boys and girls, I'll see you soon.